How's it going? I'm Trey, going to do a video on how to install the DreamColor Acrylic LED light kit for your car. Installing this in Hummer EV. I will leave a link to the product. I think there's a number of these that you can buy by different manufacturers, probably all very similar. This one is great. Here's what it looks like. Okay, I've installed the Ambient light DreamColor. I'll leave a link to the product on Amazon, but here it is. It's daytime, so a little bit hard to see. I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough of how to install this, but I'm not gonna take everything out now, so you'll have to use your imagination. But I've installed a light there, and then ran all the wiring. So the unit has has 4 of these that are all plug into one master controller. The master controller I have right up underneath here. You take this clip off here, take this clip off. There's the clip there, clip there, clip. I think there's 5 clips. This drops off, drops below, and then inside there the control unit sits. I pulled power off of a fuse that is labeled USB ACC. It's a fuse panel there, so I pulled power off of that very easily using some wire taps. I'll show you a picture of those later on. Then I simply ran. I didn't have to take. Someone else has done a video and they removed this and they moved the other side for the footwell lighting. You don't have to do that. You can very easily just reach up underneath there. Like, you can kind of see the wires right there, barely sticking out, but it's totally fine. You can just run the wires up underneath there. There's plenty of clearance room. Get somebody else to help you pull them through, perhaps, if your arm isn't quite long enough, but it's really easy. So there are 4 of these lights that connect, and then there's also here's one here that I've got, and these it's a strip that just kind of sticks and slides right into the crevice. Actually, I just pushed that one down a little bit too far. But it slides in the crevice. You can see it right here. The only challenge I've had is, and I actually even messed up the dash a little bit trying to get a tool in there to push the light light into the crevice. So that's been that was a challenge. But I just ran it right up through. Let's see, you can see right there. There you go. You can kind of barely can see where it goes in. I'm gonna zoom back out here. And I literally just wrapped it. I just kind of pushed it up through here. This panel pops off. I forget. I think it literally just pulls off. Yeah. So there's the wire, and then down in there is, you probably can maybe even see the control box. So super easy install. If you did like stereo stuff to your car when you were a kid, you can very easily do this. Now I'm working on the door panels version as well. I'm a little less pleased with the way this has come out, but it's still very adequate. It just doesn't seem to. There's a curve here in the just the way the dash is, or the door panel is molded, so it doesn't allow it to stick in there all that great because of that curve. But I think over time it'll heat up and probably stay in there a little bit better. I just did this yesterday. But yeah, so that's that. I also put a light right in there. I just drilled a hole. There's, coincidentally, interesting, this is, not sure what to think of this, but I have the 2X, which does not have the lighting package. There's already an LED right there. I don't know why GM decided not to wire it, but it's sitting there. It is wired. It's just not powered. I don't know why. There's also another one right there. I don't know if you can see that next to the bright light, but there you go. There's an LED in there, It has wiring to it. It just doesn't seem to be wired to anything it turns on. So I'm gonna modify that so that the white light comes out here when the door is opened, because there is a light right here that does come on when the door is open. So I'm just gonna connect the wiring to that light, to this light, and this light, and that will power on when the door is opened. Then I've of course got the ambient lighting here that I just installed, and here, and then this Dream View looking lighting there. That will run whenever the car is running. I'll take off this door now, or I just sort of did. This pries off. I used this little tool here that comes with the lighting kit. Make sure you pry this in this way, not on this side, because it does slightly scratch it, just a hair, or it could at least. So you want to use this side that's not visible. You know, not near as easily seen if it would to scratch it. It's a T15 bit that is used, one of the star bits. You take off 2 bolts there. You take off this little thing. There's a little clip here that slides off, and you take off those 2 bolts. Then you take off 1 bolt there, and then 1 bolt there, and then the whole door just pop. You basically pull the bottom out. There's a clip there, a couple clips there and there. You just kind of pull the bottom half out, and the whole thing just lifts up. I'm going to do that now. Got the door panel off. There's a connector there and a connector for the door there that you remove to take the whole panel off. And while I'm, well, yeah, I'll pause this, come back to that. Okay, so I've got the door panel off now. You can see I tapped into 2 wires right there, a red and a black one for power and ground. And I just use some wire taps, and then I put this down here. Then I'd use some hot glue. Here is the light that shines into the door latch. Here is the light that shines into the cup holder area, and you can see, by the way, these are the 2 LEDs that I was telling you about that are already there and wired. So I'm going to, and then here is the light down here that does work when you open the door. So I'm gonna tap into these 2 wires, figure out which one's positive, which one's negative, but tap into these 2 wires and connect these into this green and red cable. And I'm assuming then these LEDs here, these factory ones, should work whenever the door is opened. But to continue with the other project, the Dream View ambient lighting project, here is the secondary controller. Again, I mentioned the master controller is the one that I have up underneath the dash. This is a secondary one. The beauty about this product is it does not require the kind of the secondary and the primary secondary controllers, because there's 4 of them. Those do not need to be connected back physically to the master. It communicates wirelessly. So so as long as this thing has power, and again I'll show you where I've tapped power a second ago. As long as this thing has power, it can have power at all times. By the way, it does not need to be a switched power source. It can have power all times, and as long as the master controller does not have power, then these will not light up. So you can see I use some black hot glue here to hold that down, as well as some double-sided tape on the back end of that, and then I just kind of hot glued these into place. Hopefully, I live in Florida. Hopefully it's not too hot to melt that hot glue, but I think it should be okay. So that's that. One more thing I'll show. I'm not super perfectly pleased with this, but it's not bad at all. This is the light that goes to the door panel on the other side. You can see I ran through here, ran some hot glue in there, and then I ran it up through there. And unfortunately, you can't make it come out right there. Yeah, it has to kind of come out right on there. So then I took some more hot glue, black hot glue, and just kind of put it over there to hide the wires. And then you can see, again, it's not perfect here because of the way the curve of this panel is, but when the door is shut, the door, like the edge of the door jamb hides up from here back. So You really don't even see any of this when the door's shut. And then all this part turned out pretty well. I ended up cutting the acrylic strip just a hair too short, quarter of an inch too short, which is disappointing. I might buy a new one and rerun it, but that's that. And then again, this stuff just smushes up into the cracks, really into the crevice there. That's how it stays. So that's it. By the way, there's, when you take the door panel off, there's this connector here, and it is you don't push it in, you release it by unclasping that red, pushing this red tab up, and then I had to take a screwdriver to kind of pry it, but to pry this, pull this white lever back, then, oh yeah, that helps, that makes it easier. See if I can balance my phone here so I can use two hands. Alright, gee whiz. Then you simply just pull the two out. That's it. Kind of tricky first to figure that out. So when you're installing the acrylic strip here into the door, a couple things to take note. Number one, I came in from this side, and this time with the passenger door, I just kind of put the cable through here, but this time I figured out you can actually go through here, which I think is going to be better. It's a little bit tighter and a little more hidden. So it comes up through here and then down, and then this is the loosest part of the whole trim. So I kept having issues with the acrylic sticking out here. So at the end, you cut some off and you have a little excess. I flipped the excess around so you only see the black part, not the white part. Shoved it in there. It's just like an extra little piece to hold it in there tight, and it seems to be working pretty well. So consider that. Again, this is a challenge though, because of this bend in the material makes it it just doesn't fit up in there perfect. You'll see when you install it. But a couple of things to note. Be very careful with what you use to push the strip in. It is very easy to scratch this. I was even just using this pen, which works perfectly, but it was making marks, especially on the other door. So I didn't use that this time. I really just kept using my hand. And then the biggest thing I did was I used this is the tool that comes with the light kit. I stuck this on there underneath there, and I kept just prying it up to loosen how tight this piece was to this piece. Which the more I pried it and loosened it, the easier it was for me to shove this in there by hand. All right, two things for the back panel. When you remove the back panel, only 3 screws. So just the 2 in the doorknob here, then there's 1 on the bottom right here. So a lot less screws. However, there's this which on the other door I had no clue what it was. It is the actual door lock mechanism. When I removed my door, it fell down. I couldn't figure it out, but this actually goes here in the hole here, so don't forget that. Second thing, there are these little pieces that I think are just vibration. Actually, they don't go there. They go right there, 1 on each side, and they always fall off. So I got to find the ones that, there it is on the floor down there. Right there. Anyways, those fall off. Don't lose them. I assume they're for noise. And the last thing, well, second to last thing, man, these connectors are impossible to get off. I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I literally just broke all the safety pieces off and removed it. So good luck there. But when you're tapping into power, I don't know, the colors are different on this side. Well, I'll have to come back to you on that. There's the black wire that you can use for ground. This black wire right here. And then I believe, actually I'm positive, is this blue wire or the white wire are both hot all the time. So I'll confirm that in a second. But those are both hot all the time. You can tap into those too for your power and your ground. Okay, this is the passenger rear door. This is the top where the window comes out. This is the bottom of the door. There's the speaker. Just wanted to kind of show you guys, I drilled a hole here, and same as before, I put the one door handle light here. This is the door handle. I drilled a hole here and inserted the other light for the cup holder area. You can see them right there and right there. I'm about to do the this acrylic light right here now. About to do this next, but just wanted to show you guys the back of the panel. As you can see, I'm about to tap into this white wire here for power. And then this right here is the ground wire right here, this black wire. You can tap into that. I don't believe there's any need to run new wires. I don't think that's necessary at all. I will say here on the rear passenger side, this power wire is white. On the rear driver side, though, the power wire is green. And those are both always on power sources. Again, that doesn't matter because these guys here are controlled by the master unit, which is on an ACC switched power source. Last thing, I got some hot glue gun here. I dabbed a little bit of hot glue right there and there, and probably don't need it, but just in case I threw it in there. The way these things work is the lens right here, it's tough to get off, but it just pulls straight out, or you can kind of twist it and pull it out. And then friction, then you drill your hole and make sure you don't get it too big, and then put the lens in this side, and you put the light into this side, and then friction kind of holds this into there. But just for good measure, I went ahead and hot glued it so it's not going anywhere. Then I'll do some cable management. I'll kind of wrap these cords around here and kind of snake it back up here into where I'm going to plug it in right there to the light or to the module. I think that's it. All right, so have it all done. That's what it looks like with it with the strip in there, not lit, of course. I will say these rear doors are significantly more difficult to insert than the front doors. It's really, really hard. So much so, I really upset. I actually nicked the material there, and then there's a little kind of a scratch up in there. So it's not that hard here toward the front when you first start, but as you continue on, it gets really difficult. So lots of prying and patience and brute force is the only way I did it. But be super careful. The other thing to be super careful on, when I was drilling the hole for the right up in there for the LED, not so much on this door, even here a little bit. Even though I was paying attention, I still nicked with the drill bit, nicked the handle slightly, but on the other door it's a little bit worse, but not a big deal. But just be careful of that. Pro tips. All right, and here's the final product. Looks really great. You can see the LED strip. Well, it's not LED actually, it's acrylic. I mean, it's not, yeah, no, it is LED, sorry. But the acrylic strip there, you can see the floor lights. You can hear the wonderful dinging. Again, the minor thing is just how this isn't straight. It just kind of bothers me, but it's minor. You can see the lights here in the door handle, as well as the one shining down there in the cup holder. Same with the rear. Super thrilled with this. It makes all the difference in the world. I got stuff in the back of the truck here, but all the difference in the world. Super inexpensive mod, but it takes every bit of 8 hours. I spent more than that trying to figure out all the wiring and stuff. You're welcome for doing that. It shouldn't take you, I still probably take about 8 hours, but it's just tedious, and getting all these up in here is very difficult. And then of course you're taking each panel off, wiring things, etc. I just used the for the most part I just used the clips that came with this kit, as far as wiring clips to tap into other wires. But yeah, all done. And as you can see, I will turn the car off. The lights go out. So yeah, that's it.